Allah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem B'Kadash.
All praise due to the kings of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. The Lord said, no stone, you must possibly. Just going to get a quick live show before we start the Passover. We're on that Passover ceremony night where we're embarking upon another Passover 2018. Lord willing, it's the last Passover. But, you know, we're going to keep endurance to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to bring us up out of here. So we're just going to go live. You know, we're not going to film any of the Passover itself due to the fact that it's a solemn assembly. It's not meant to be, you know, shown, you know, all throughout the world, to, you know, so people can comment on how great somebody dances or how great somebody sings. Somebody give me Exodus 12, we'll start at 7. You know, the scriptures, the Lord gave us specific instructions on how to hold this Passover, how to hold these Passovers. Well, we gotta read it.
Exodus 12, verse 7. It reads, "And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts,
Okay.
and on the upper door, the posts of the houses."
Right, and the striking of the blood is primarily to avoid the judgment, because the judgment is coming down by the death angel, you know, and when that death angel comes down, he's coming down to smite and kill, you know, anybody that's not under the protection of the smiting of the door, the lintel of the blood. Okay, so what we're doing right now, essentially, we're praying that the Lord passes over us, passes over the judgment over us. You see? Go ahead.
"Wherein they shall eat it, and they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread."
Right, and this is how you're supposed to prepare the Passover, the lamb. Roast with fire and unleavened bread. You know? You don't have an option to cook your meat half done or boil it, because it tells you not to do those things. And you know, as you see all these other Passover groups, man, all these other groups who are holding the Passover, you gotta wonder, man. You gotta wonder if they're taking specific orders on people's preparedness of their food. How do you want your food? How do you like your lamb? You know? Go ahead.
"And with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water,
Right.
but roast with fire."
Right, and I firmly believe, and this is just, I speak as a man, I believe some of these groups, man, they're just not even taking heed to what these scriptures are saying. I believe they're probably seasoning shit up, you know, paprika, seasoned salt. I mean, you gotta ask yourself, you see the shit that the shenanigans they're pulling, so why wouldn't they do that? Go ahead.
"His head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof.
Go ahead.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
Go ahead.
And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire."
Right, so that's how you're supposed to hold the Passover. You know, now being in this wicked ass kingdom, we can't roast it the way the scripture says on this part, because we probably get charged for animal cruelty. You see? But this is why in the place of drawing water, we gotta rehearse the righteous acts. So when the Lord said, you gotta eat this thing with your shoes on, eat it in haste, you know, eat that bitter herb to bring you back into remembrance. These are the traits that the Lord wants us to remember, and this is why we're being brought back into remembrance, because we are those same men, you know, that come through the Red Sea. We are those same men being brought back to remembrance. And all you guys out there who are fooling around with the Lord's Passover, dancing and shaking and baking, all that shit you're doing in there, the Lord's going to judge you for that, man. He's going to seriously judge you for that. Go ahead.
Verse 11. "And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand.
Go ahead.
And ye shall eat it in haste, and it's the Lord's Passover."
Right, you shall eat it in haste, and it's the Lord's Passover. Once you eat that lamb, you drink that wine, that unleavened bread, that's it, man. Show's over. It's time to go home, get secured in your homes, and pray that the Lord have mercy on you, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, a lot of people, what they do is they think the ceremony is isolated, but that night was a whole night.
Mm-hmm.
They were waiting throughout the whole night for that death angel, which was Yahweh Shai, to come through and smite all the firstborn. So there wasn't this thing where everybody was, you know, okay, you know, the ceremony's over, let's have a good time and let's celebrate. We're getting ready to get out of Egypt. they were probably laying in the bed. You had people like sitting there looking around, looking out the window. You don't know. You didn't know what was going to happen that night. All you knew was that death was coming. So that spirit that you have in you, there's a sense of urgency. There is no enjoying the ceremony's over. This was after the ceremony, because a lot of people did that last year because we had things to say about the way people was treating that night. The whole night is the Passover, not just for a few minutes while you're doing the ceremony. The whole night is the Passover. You don't know what type of death is gonna come, man. This whole night is to be taken seriously, not just the minutes of the ceremony. Then y'all up listening to rap music and dancing and jumping around in the camera. The whole night is a solemn assembly, not just the ceremony.
First, book of First Ezra, chapter 1, verse 21. Yea, and all the kings of Israel held not such a Passover as Josiah's, and the priests, and the Levites, and the Jews held with all of Israel that were found dwelling in Jerusalem. In the 18th year, in the reign of Josiah, was the Passover kept.
Right. This day is a day to remind you, of the power of the Lord, to put you in the mindset of the Lord ain't playing. This not a day of it's not a celebratory day. And I did a show on this a couple months ago. So we had Passovers in ancient times. This brother's reading about Josiah's Passover, but there were other Passovers. There's been Passovers for thousands of years. We're just now getting back into it now. Us. But Passovers have been going on for thousands of years. But if you understand the scriptures, you know that everything post Yahushua, you should do it the way Yahushua did it. And their ceremony was solemn. It was quiet. You didn't get a sense of a jovial feeling when you read about the Lord Yahushua's Passover. It wasn't elaborate. It was very simple. Just him and the 12 were there. Okay. There was no party. There was no music going on. You didn't get that sense when you read that. Here it is. The Lord Yahushua was getting ready to die, man. The Lord Yahushua was getting ready to be hung on the cross. You think he was up there smiling at them? While he was breaking the bread and passing them the bread, while he was passing them the wine, do you think he was there smiling and hey brother, yeah, I'm glad you're here. No, Judah. Right. He was getting ready to die, man.
He had a heavy heart.
He had a heavy heart. It said that he went. If somebody could find that, when he went to Gethsemane, he asked, "Could you not wait for me a moment here while he went to go pray?" He said, the scripture said he began to be sorrowful and heavy, man. He was about to die. He knew he was about to go through the worst pain in his life. So that feeling, they took on the same feeling that he had. That same vibe, that same vibration that he was putting on, because they saw him. He was like, oh, this is a dude, he was walking on water. But look at him, he's not acting like that same guy. So you have to know that they took on that same, like for instance, when you're a child and you see your father, he might have lost his job or something, you see how sad he is. Not only him, but the wife is sad, the mother, you, the dog, the whole house is somber. And it's the same thing in the Passover, man. The Lord Yahushua died on this night, man. He died on this night.
Matthew's 20. Oh,
we can go back to this. I just want to hit this real quick. We can go back.
Matthew's 26 and 36.
Go on.
Then comes Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane.
Yep.
And saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. He
began to be sorrowful and very heavy. So he probably broke down, and they was probably looking at him like, man, this is this is the most powerful man I ever known. And he broke down, man.
Then
go ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead.
Then said he unto them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me.
Like we say, man, I was scared to death. He said he was sorrowful to death, man. Imagine that. And then you have people that will film themselves, you know, jumping up and down in the camera. Like this is not a fun night. This is not supposed to be a fun night. It's supposed to be a night of reflection, man. This is why we eat the bitter herbs, to remind us of this captivity we're in and the captivities before it. This is a night of reflection. This is a night to remember the power of the Heavenly Father, man. Go ahead.
Come. And it says, and he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou
What
wilt."
was that cup? That cup was him getting ready to get on that cross and not only take on his own burdens, but the burdens of a whole entire nation. So imagine that, with every strike of the spike going in his hand, right? He felt every ounce of every man who went off in Israel, man. Imagine that, right? Every ping of the nail going through his hands, he felt, man. Go ahead.
Come. And it says, and he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, "What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour?"
Right, you couldn't watch me for a little bit. This was a dude that was on edge, man. He was on edge. He wasn't feeling good. So you should take that into consideration when you observe the Passover, man. You should take that into consideration, that not only was the original Passover a scary night, where the kids probably was crying. You know how kids, they get to whimpering. Then you had the wife, she don't know what to do to comfort the kids. You know, Moses done told them that all this death is coming, so they don't know how to feel. You think they was happy? Yeah, we getting ready to get out of this captivity, but we might get caught up on this death that's coming here. They were late, they were in the room. You know, you had imagine the people that live by themselves on that night. In the apartment, every little sound. You ever be by yourself in the house, and you get that heavy spirit on you. Every little sound, you like, what was that?
Yeah.
You know, everything scares you in that kind of environment.
Being in that frame of mind, you know, you sitting there wondering, damn, did I put enough blood on the post?
Right.
Is the Lord gonna see this?
Right.
You know, so you probably have brothers going back out, you know, wiping the post down,
Right.
the door jams down,
Right.
you know, because it was a fearful thing. It's a fearful thing to know that the Lord said he was going to kill everything, man and beast of the firstborn, man. To have, yeah, go ahead. This brother, guys, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we get that. Go ahead, bro. No, so good.
Exodus 12:12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of
You
Egypt.
see that? All the firstborn of Egypt was not just the firstborn of men, the firstborn of the men, the firstborn of the beasts, the first fruits that came out of the ground was going to be destroyed. Everything. That wasn't that you're not dealing with a happy time. Now at the back end you say, okay, we get ready to get out of this captivity finally, but you don't know what that entails. You don't know what you got to go through, because even after that, they had to walk through the wilderness.
Right. Hey, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
And that's why the older generation had to die, because they were so frightful. They didn't know what to do. They want to return back to Egypt.
Right. They were stuck in that old mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of uncertainty.
You see. So this night should be taken seriously, man. And like the brother started off by saying, hopefully this is the last one, man. You know, we you got Jake, our people. We're a lively people, right? So we like to have fun. We like to laugh with each other. We like to get dressed and go out so people can see your nice threads. We like those kinds of things, right? But those celebratory things will come after. Those celebratory things will come when we're resting in the kingdom of heaven, man. But right now it's time for us to be serious, especially this has been dubbed by the elder apostle Tahar the year of prophecy, right? Not just the year to speak the prophecy, but the year that prophecy may come to pass, man. All these things that we've been sitting around waiting for, this is the year for those things to come to pass. So we should be in that same mind frame that death is coming. We should be in that same mindset where you sitting in the bed and you can hear that little noise. Everything is heightened, like we talked about Sunday. all your senses should be heightened, man. You should try to be on point with everything. When you go to the bathroom, you should try to be on point. Wipe the seat off. Wash your hand. Everything. Don't leave any stone unturned, man. You know.
Can I make this quick
Go ahead.
quick point? See, a lot of the men that are followers in these camps are just mockingbirds, man. You know, because the modern day mark, you know, the scriptures say the modern mark them which sigh and cry, because that mark on the doorpost was a mark of exemption. So now in this time, the modern day mark is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of these words. So right, sign and cry, put the mark on them. So it will behoove those cats, you know, to go into the scriptures and read and actually do the reading and see how the Passover is really done, man. You know.
All right, con. So with that, we just want to, you know, do a quick live show before we, you know, bring this Passover in. Lord willing, you know, the Lord have mercy on all of us brothers throughout the four corners.